I'm here live with Alison Voller. She is the voice of Della in Hello Trouble. So we're going to be asking her all of the questions about narrating and how she brought our sunshiny, curvy girl to life. So, Alison, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Allyson, as Kelsey said, and I'm an audiobook narrator. Um, and I am the voice of Della in Hello Trouble. And I've had the privilege of being the voice of many of Kelsey's characters in the Hello series. And I just love them all. They're all great.
Yes. So, how did you get into narrating?
I am an actor by trade. And so that's actually what I went to school for. I went to school to be an actor. Started off doing a ton of theater, did some on camera work. And then when I had kids, I realized that they kind of take up a lot of time. And so I got into voiceover work, and that led me to doing audiobook narration, and I just love it. I found my happy place. As I say to people, I've never looked back. I went full in, and it blossomed into a wonderful career.
So I'm curious about how did you study acting in college, or how did that path work out for you?
Yeah, I did. I was a theater major, and so yeah, I studied all kinds of theater styles, acting, performance related stuff. And then when I got out of college, I continued taking classes here and there. I live in the Chicago area, so I have access to a really great theater town, classes and coaching. And so I did all of that. And I've studied, I continue to study, truthfully. I got a theater degree, but I keep taking classes just to keep my skills sharp.
That's awesome. And it looks like Luke is here, so let
Mhm.
me pop him up.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
Hi, how we doing,
Luke.
ladies?
Good. We're introducing ourselves, so why don't you go ahead and introduce
Hey, Luke.
yourself and tell us your origin story?
My origin story. Geez. Well, I've just made myself a nice cup of coffee in the cappuccino style I tend to enjoy in the afternoon. So, yeah, my name's Luke Welland. I'm Canadian. We celebrated Canada Day yesterday, in case you Americans wanted to know. I've been an actor throughout the last couple of decades, I suppose. When I was a kid, too, I was into drama and theater and such. And music. I was a musician in a touring punk sort of rock and roll band for the better part of my 20s. We played all over North America, about 600 shows. I was the singer and guitar player. And then I moved to
Wow.
Vancouver where
Wow.
there's yeah, I was into the music scene. I still play, but not like that. Moved to Vancouver where there was a good film market and got into acting, TV, and film, and did I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 sort of TV shows and movies, kind of smaller parts, a couple bigger parts and smaller movies, commercials, that sort of thing. Kind of got jaded out of the industry a bit. It was kind of competitive and frustrating, and a lot of
Mm.
auditions nonstop. And then COVID struck in 2020, as we all know. And I was working also as a tour guide in the Rocky Mountains and a bartender at a local restaurant. But all my jobs and acting, they all just collapsed immediately. I had nothing, and I was like, "Well, this is frustrating." And I had a lot of audio equipment. I had a bit of voiceover experience through acting, and I love to read. So I just pivoted into audiobooks, and I had a pretty good start and sort of just trickled up. And now I've been doing it full time for 4 years, and sort of got out of the on camera acting scene and moved into the country. Bought a house last year in the Rocky Mountains in a little town called Kimberley, BC, and yeah, I've been enjoying a quiet life here with my fiance and our new baby. Well, she's a year and a half now, so
Oh,
it's been
They
good. I
give
even
you babies forever.
yeah.
my 6-year-old
May have been a
nephew.
long origin story, but that's it.
That's
Yeah, and
awesome.
I finally built a proper studio like a month ago, which had sort of been my dream to build a really nice vocal booth. And I'm not in it right now. I'm in my little editing office, but over there, I'm on my iMac, so I can't really move it. But yeah, I built a really nice, noise-proof studio, and it's really nice to work in now. It feels good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I remember in a last chat that you had mentioned bringing, like, the egg carton foam with you on vacation, and
Oh,
I assume this is a little more high tech for you.
I mean, I still might do some travel recording, and I do my best. And there's some good technology now that you can eliminate reverb is kind of the bane of our existence in the audiobook world, and outside noise, of course.
hmm
So yeah, I'll deal with that sometimes when I travel, but it's nice to own a place and be able to just build a wall and build a studio and make it all really soundproof. And yeah, it's a treat.
That's awesome.
What about you, Alison? Do you have a nice studio?
I have a so I have a relative who was in radio in the Chicago area for a long time before he retired, and he helped me build a studio. So I was very fortunate that I had somebody to hold my hand and be like, no, this is what you need. You don't need that. You need this. And
Nice.
so he helped me get it up and going. So I too am in my little editing nook in our office, and my studio is over in that direction.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's fun. I love it when I first when we first my husband is an actor too, and so when we were first recording, it was like the noise in our office was like terrible reverb. Like you said, it was just so echoey and awful. And so when we got the new studio, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is great. I can hear a difference. This is like how it should be. And yeah, it's been great.
Well,
So,
it's where we work. It's important to be able to get comfortable and dive into
mhm.
the book without thinking about your baby crying upstairs or the
Right.
big truck outside and who knows what else kind of noise. Airplanes, those used to be an issue in the city.
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
that issue now, but that's an issue. Yeah, they're loud.
Yeah. I know it's weird that an airplane, I mean, they are loud, but it's, it is weird that you can pick it up and you can see it on your recording. Like, there goes the airplane over my,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
strange.
I used to have to pause just about every
Yeah.
time a big airplane went over, and it became every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's frustrating.
Oh,
Yep,
gotcha.
that's such is our lives. It's really not too much to complain about. It's a pretty fun job, right?
It is. It's great. Yeah. The leaf blowers, when my neighbor's lawn service come, those are like, it's like,
Leaf blowers.
leaf blowers. So I
Nothing,
know when he's cutting his grass, though.
mhm.
So I figured it out. So I can take a break.
Nothing says somebody else's problem like a leaf blower. You
I
just
know.
blow it onto your neighbor's yard or onto the road and make noise for everyone. Anyways, Kelsey, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah. We're just talking about
Sorry,
leaf blowers.
I moved to another room, so
Oh,
hopefully our internet is better in this room.
oh,
We just moved into a new house too, Luke. We moved to be a little bit closer to my husband's family, and I'm still working out all the quirks that you wouldn't think would
oh.
exist in 2025, but here we are.
Internet dead zones, hotspots.
Yes, we have a very long hallway, and apparently the Wi-Fi is not cannot handle the hallway. I don't know.
You can get
Oh,
one of those little extender things. You
yeah.
can put it on the opposite side of the house and it'll do some magic.
Yeah, that's goal number 2. Goal number 1 right now.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but okay, so hopefully this will work better. Okay, so I don't know if you heard the question, but I wanted to know about the process of narrating Hello Trouble for you. Like, how does it work from the time that you get the document from us?
You asking me?
Both of you.
Oh well, it's fairly streamlined with your projects now, and I know the characters, which is nice. I don't need to do much research. I feel like the only new character in each book is usually the love interest it's not always even a new character. Sometimes it's the neighbor or the family member down the road. Not, you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that was the case in this one. So I perused through it a little bit and make note of any new characters that I should know about, and sort of remind myself on certain voices that I've done in the past. I have some notes for your books that are getting rather extensive in my iPhone. I just keep notes on different characters and refer to that as I go if I need to. And yeah, usually get to work. And well, you and Sally have been asking for a little sample, so just do the first 10 or 20 minutes and send it over and make sure it's all good, and then dive in. I can usually do it in just a few days of recording for your series.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, my process is very similar to Luke's. When I get the manuscript, I have a Dropbox account, and so I make a lot of notes in there, character samples, so I don't forget. Yeah, and my list is getting long with all of the characters, which is awesome. But I read through the manuscript, make any additional notes that I need, and then usually I just dive in. And at this point, Luke and I have worked together so often that I think we got it down. Like there was a few books where we would coordinate like different character voices or whatever, but I think with this one, I think we were good to go actually on Hello Trouble.
Yeah, there wasn't too many questions. I think there was one name which was spelled kind of
right. That's
Mira
right.
with an I, and I was like, oh, is that Mira or Myra?
Yeah,
that's want to make sure we're consistent, and we use the pronunciation you envision, Kelsey.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would stink really, really bad if we didn't coordinate on a name pronunciation and one of us said it one way and the other said it the other way.
It's an easy thing to mix up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I imagine that would be an extra big challenge for like fantasy books or sci-fi books.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You have to always coordinate with your co-narrator if you have one, or with the author. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this makes me think of a reader question, which is how long can you record before you need to give your voice a rest?
That's a good question, actually. I mean, I can go a pretty long time, I think, compared to some. I can usually do a full day. I'll start at maybe 9 or 10, and then I'll record till lunchtime, and then take a small break, and then record in the afternoon before everybody gets home, either from school or my husband gets home from work. So yeah, but I do, if I'm recording, some days I have to really power through and put in some extra time. So if I have days like that, then I try to take a vocal rest day, either the next day or whenever I get a break. I do try to schedule in like a vocal rest day, just so I'm not crunchy and sounding froggy or whatever. So
yeah, nice. I can't do that long. I do sessions of 1 to 2 hours, and I do 2 of them a day if I can. So between 2 and 4 hours a day for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it got worse when I got sick just before doing your book, and that's the worst when you get a chest or head cold or throat cold, something like that, and you kind of try to push it, and then it can really screw you up for the whole week, I find, on the voice. So
that is so true.
Take care of our baby,
We do, yeah. And being sick is like the worst feeling ever when you start to feel that tickle in your throat and you're like, no, oh no, please, no. And then, I have kids, and Luke, you have a baby, and Kelsey, I know you have kids. So like they are like petri dishes. They bring home everything, and it's
stay away from
yeah, pretty much. Wash your hands. Just wash your hands. Mom can't get sick. I've got a long week.
Yes. That's awesome. So I was wondering, what is the favorite part of the character that you played? So for you, Allyson, that would be Della, and for Luke, that would be Hayes.
Yeah, I'll start. Hayes was fun. He was he's cocky, and he's got bravado, and he's he's covered in tattoos and piercings, you know where, and
everywhere.
out everywhere, even ones you can't see. So he was fun. I like to have that kind of swagger sometimes, especially in characters, maybe in real life sometimes. But he was always fun, but he was also really likable and genuine, especially with Della. And he was a big lovable tattooed teddy bear, so to speak. So he had a bit of a character arc, which I enjoyed portraying.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a mechanic, so he's a bit of a man's man, but he got into the hot chocolate sipping as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Della. I just love her whole vibe. Like she just was so kind of carefree, She's just like, yeah, I like hot chocolate and oh, I just loved her vibe. That was like the first impression when I first read the story. I was like, oh, I just love her. Like I would be her friend if she was a real person. But the hot chocolate just yeah, yeah, I just liked her vibe.
Yeah, she was so fun. And I
Mhm.
was talking to some readers yesterday, and we were trying to decide if Della just, like, doesn't know that Hayes is so annoyed by her or if she does not care.
I know. I know, and that's so charming because she just kind of continues on, and it's okay, and she loves him, and it's good. All is good. What do you mean you don't like hot chocolate? Who
Mhm.
doesn't like hot chocolate? It's just, yeah, I loved her. I thought she was great.
That's awesome. What was your favorite scene to narrate?
Now we've been
That's
talking about the
always
hot
hard for
chocolate. That's all
me.
I can think about. There was at least 2 or 3 of those scenes which were good.
Yeah. I
Like the
I
opening
don't
scene was
know. I
fun in
think
that sense.
yes, yes. I agree. I thought the opening scene was good. I kind of like when characters though find themselves and like turn the corner. So I do like the scene where she decides to stay and I've got Hayes now and so my life is moving in the right direction for me. So I did like that scene, I think, where the change happens. But that opening scene too, like I remember reading that and just giggling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's always a fun one.
he was a
Hmm.
he was a funny character, and the fact that she was an insurance uh, salesman or agent, and he's a bit of a bad boy, with a motorcycle and doesn't want to wear a helmet, and it created a nice dynamic a few
Hmm.
times. Some good scenes, or when they were maybe fooling around in his truck. I believe I don't think that's safe to an
Right.
insurance agent. Um,
Right.
so that was a fun scene, if I
She
recall.
is like the ultimate good girl, too. Like she's the
Mhm.
ultimate good girl. She's like, "Oh, we'll get in trouble if we do that." And it's just funny that she's the insurance agent too, on top of
Mhm.
that.
Yes, she is very risk averse, which makes
Yeah.
her makes her a fun pairing for Hayes.
Mhm.
Um, was
Definitely.
was there a scene that was hard for you to narrate?
I don't think I have one. Nothing leaps out for being difficult for me.
Me neither. I
What
think
about
maybe
you?
like big family barbecues where there's 6 or 8 characters there.
Oh,
Mhm.
sure.
Some of them have similar voices. They're maybe brothers or some of the wives. So those can get tricky. I find just technically speaking, a little more editing to do, but it's good fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that would be technically challenging. That is also hard. Those scenes are hard to write too because
Oh,
you wanna have those family scenes, but at the same time, as a reader, you don't want anyone to get confused about, like, who's talking when. So hopefully hopefully everyone enjoyed those parts and didn't get too lost. I was wondering if you related to any of the characters in the books. In this book in particular, if there's one that you're like, "Yeah, I relate to her, and this is how."
I think Della, or even in past books, Mia. But it's, I see characters, and like I said earlier, I'm like, oh, that person, or I know somebody who's like that, and um, so in a way, I do see myself in those characters.
I think did I break up for y'all? I didn't catch that, Allison.
Yeah, I lost it as well. Mhm.
Um, well,
You're fine, it's a Wi-Fi
I
day.
I like Della. I feel like, yeah. I feel like I can relate to Della and Mia. As I said earlier, I see Della, and I'm like, oh, I could be friends with her, be friends with Mia, and then I see some of these characters. I think I know people that, and there's people like that in my life. So in that regard, I feel like connected to those characters being my skin, especially with the family dynamic of a lot of them. I have a big family, so seeing them all together, it's it's relatable.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Did you catch that?
I yeah, most of it. Um,
I think my software should piece it all together.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
think the most recent character with
Okay.
Hayes for me was somewhat relatable, but I could also see elements of Knox in myself. He was the policeman, right? And
Mhm.
I went to university and got a degree in criminology,
Okay.
and at the time I was kind of
Mhm.
leaning towards becoming a cop, or I wanted to be a detective or some sort of cool CSI agent or something. Um, but at the same time, I was too busy having fun and playing punk music in a band to really settle down and do any of that. So I got the degree, and then I immediately just went on tour with my band and sort of dismissed it. Um, so I can see elements of both of those characters in what could, different choices we have in life and what could become of us.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Because Knox had uh he had like a very varied life with his like how he was when he was a teen, and then he became, more, I would say, like straight laced, even though he
Yeah,
still likes to have a good time.
yeah, he's a prankster.
Yes. Okay, so reader question is, do you keep a blooper reel?
Yeah.
No, get rid of it immediately.
Delete, delete, delete.
Delete. It's gone. It's taking up space on my hard drive.
I I I don't typically. Sometimes I do. Like if I see something so silly, I will save it. And I will be like, I gotta use the house. So yeah,
Mm, that's
but
awesome.
not typically.
Awesome. Well, that is all the questions I have for y'all specifically about Hello Trouble. Would y'all tell us where we can find you, where we can listen to more books narrated by you?
Sure. I mean, I don't have my website active right now and probably should, but it's under construction. It seems like always. But on Audible, you can click on the narrator's name and follow or find out everything they've done on that's listed on Audible. Yeah, I've got a podcast on Spotify that's called Mayday, which is pretty cool. It's about disasters and terrible events and things like this. And I can plug. Can I plug another book, Kelsey? Do you mind?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Well, this one just came out. It's pretty fun. I think your readers would enjoy it. Your listeners. It's a hockey romance comedy, a little bit steamy. Happens to be written by my fiance under a pen name called April James, and I voiced it along
Oh,
with another talented voice actress. And it's called Her Scoring Chance. and it's pretty cool. I'd check it out if I were you. It's on Audible, and yeah, give it a
Was
listen.
that her first book?
Yeah, it's
That's so fun.
a new idea for her, and she put it together in the last few months.
Cool.
It's great. It's really funny.
Alison, you're breaking up, so I know that everyone can find Alison on Instagram for sure.
Yes.
But you
Instagram is where I shamelessly plug. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Allyson _Voller, ALLYSON _VOLLER. I put everything on Instagram. I have a website too, but everything goes on Instagram. So I'll top things on Instagram. So
perfect. Well, thank you both for hanging out and toughing out Wi-Fi troubles with me. But we will see y'all on the next book. That is Hello Handsome, coming this fall. So,
which will be a fun one and a bit of a challenge for myself, because the male lead is probably in his 70s, I want to say, or right around there.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
We
make for shorter recording sessions for this raspy boy.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
And who doesn't love a golden age romance, right?
Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Okay, well, I will see y'all on the next one.
That's
Bye.
right.